NBC10 News starts now.
Tonight, brink of impeachment. The effort to remove the president from office in the final days of his term is gaining speed, leaving Vice President Mike Pence with a 24-hour ultimatum.
But first, the end of an Eagles era. The franchise fires head coach Doug Pederson, who led the team to their first and only Super Bowl win. You're watching NBC10 News at 11. I'm Jim Rosenfield.
And I'm Jacqueline London. Fired up fans are sounding off, and so are Philadelphia players past and present. Count on NBC10 to bring you all the angles. Let's begin with NBC10's Aaron Baskerville, live from South Philadelphia. Aaron.
Hey, Jim and Jackie, as you know, we talked to an awful lot of fans tonight. Fans had a lot to say about Doug Pederson. I was quite surprised, honestly, that they didn't care much about that Super Bowl victory anymore. They had a lot to get off their chest tonight.
He's definitely going to be remembered. Him and Foles, they had that moment. Ain't nobody going to take that away.
So long to Eagles head coach Doug Pederson, to the man immortalized out front of Lincoln Financial Field with a statue.
It's a little sad, you know, we got a quick Super Bowl and everything, but, you know, I wish they gave him another year.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
To the man behind Philly, one of the greatest plays in sports history. To the leader who helped jam Broad Street with thousands of fans after the city's first Super Bowl victory. So goodbye, Doug. Good riddance.
Goodbye, Doug. Good riddance.
What about the Super Bowl he brought?
Yeah, that was years ago.
At Geno's and Pat's, they had short memories while serving up cheesesteaks and hot takes. That's where we met Marjorie Gold. We don't like Doug?
No.
Why not?
Why? Because the Eagles suck this year, and we have to blame Doug.
Daquan Graham couldn't help but echo her feelings while he ordered at the window.
So you're glad he's gone?
Oh yeah, of course.
What about the Super Bowl?
That's years ago. We can't talk about that now, you know. That's ancient history, you know. And we did with a backed up quarterback too.
Ancient history, right? That's only a couple years ago.
Well, it's still history.
He's playing for a Super Bowl!
So goodbye, Coach.
Wherever he go, I wish him the best of luck.
You will never be forgotten, even by Marjorie Gold.
Give me one more. What's your message to Doug?
Bye, Doug!
Oh, Marjorie Gold. As you can see, she was pure gold. Saying goodbye to Doug Pederson the only way Eagles fans know how. As for that Super Bowl victory, let's remind folks that was only a couple years ago. That was February of 2018. But of course, short memories. For now, we're live in South Philly. Aaron Baskerville, NBC10 News.
That was ancient history, Aaron. We were kids back then.
Yes.
Long time ago, right?
Long ago. Thanks, Aaron.
Now we turn to NBC Sports Philadelphia's Danny Palmel's. Danny, Doug Pederson has put out a statement about his firing.
That's right, Jackie. We'll get to that statement in a moment. But despite what some of those fans may think in Aaron's story, it's hard to believe the Eagles fired Doug Pederson just 3 years after winning the franchise's only Super Bowl. But this is where we are today. Pederson released a statement through the Eagles, which reads in part, "It has been an absolute honor serving as head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. As difficult as it is to say goodbye, I will always look back on my time here with appreciation and respect." Eagles chairman and CEO Jeff Lurie met with the media earlier this afternoon and tried to explain this difficult decision.
This is much more about the evaluation of whether the Eagles moving forward, our best option is to have a new coach. And that's really what it's about. It's not about did Doug deserve to be let go? No, he did not deserve to be let go. That's not where I'm coming from, and that's not the bar in the evaluation process.
I guess the question isn't why did you let him go, Jeff Lurie, but later in the show we'll hear from Eagles Super Bowl champion Brandon Graham and his thoughts on Pederson's dismissal. For now, I'm Danny Palmel's. Jim, Jackie.
All right, Danny, a little more now on that ancient history, because the question now is how exactly did we get here? Doug Pederson first joined the franchise in 2016. He had a hand in bringing Carson Wentz to Philly his rookie year. Fast forward just one season, Pederson led the Eagles to their first ever Super Bowl. The following 2 seasons, though, disappointing playoff berths. And this year, no playoff appearance after naming rookie Jalen Hurts starting quarterback December 8th of last year. and that controversial final loss against Washington to end the season. Jackie.
Well, fans have been sounding off about Doug Pederson's departure all day. Share your thoughts with us. Just head over to NBC Philadelphia's Facebook page and add your thoughts in the comments. To this now. Tonight, the President of the United States is on the brink of impeachment, and the Vice President has a 24-hour ultimatum from Democrats to invoke the 25th Amendment to remove President Trump from office. Vice President Mike Pence met with President Trump tonight in the Oval Office to talk about the week ahead after reports that the two didn't speak for days. Meanwhile, the U.S. House is going full steam ahead with an effort to get the president out of office before January 20th, as they accuse him of inciting the violence at the Capitol last week. NBC10's Matt DeLucia is in our Montgomery County Bureau with how this and other scenarios could play out in the president's final days in office. He joins us now with more. Matt.
Yeah, there are two avenues at play right now, impeachment and invoking the 25th Amendment. A new poll by Quinnipiac University shows that more than half of the voters they talk with think that President Trump should be held responsible for the storming of the Capitol last week. A smaller majority thinks that President Trump should be removed from office. Tonight, there is pressure, and it is growing, to hold the president accountable.
I think a lot of what is motivating members of the House to take up a second impeachment is the opportunity to impose that accountability on the president.
Up to and including removing the president from office and disqualifying him from running for another term. House Democrats today introduced a resolution to call on Vice President Mike Pence to invoke the 25th Amendment, but Republicans stopped it. I object. Next up will be the House vote on impeachment, likely tomorrow. If it passes, which is expected, Delaware Senator and Democrat Chris Coons thinks it's unlikely to go anywhere until the president is out of office. And even then,
there would be very little time to put on a full and appropriate trial to examine all the facts and everything that happened without also then preventing the Biden administration from getting their nominees confirmed, moving ahead with a desperately needed rapid response to this pandemic that is spiraling out of control. So we're going to have to weigh that based on whatever happens in the House this week.
But Democrats are hoping for bipartisan support. 24 former GOP lawmakers are now supporting impeachment, including former PA Congressman Charlie Dent. The letter urging Congress to fulfill your constitutional duty to uphold the integrity of the legislative branch and protect American democracy. Support among sitting Senate Republicans right now is not as strong, though Senator Pat Toomey is one of them.
I actually do believe that the president has disqualified himself.
And this has already been moving at a very rapid pace. But even if the House votes to impeach the president tomorrow, the Republican-controlled Senate doesn't return from recess until January 19th. It would take all 100 senators to agree to come back sooner. Matt DeLucia, NBC10 News.
All right, Matt, now to the latest on the pandemic. The state of Pennsylvania making plans now to move to the next phase of its vaccination plan. Right now, it's healthcare workers and residents at long-term care facilities who are getting the shot. The next group is called 1B. That includes people at least age 75, along with essential workers like police officers, teachers, and grocery store clerks. South Jersey now has a new weapon to help fight the spread of coronavirus. Rowan College of South Jersey is now home to the newest mega vaccine site in our area. Governor Murphy and other state leaders toured that site this morning. Right now, it's by appointment only in phases 1A and 1B. The goal is to vaccinate more than 2,000 people a day. But right now, the site only has 1,000 doses for the week.
But the distribution is less than promised and far less than needed. I believe that will change sooner than later.
It's a long-awaited shot, but I'm glad to get it because I haven't had any issues and I don't want any issues.
So far, 1 million people in New Jersey have pre-registered for the vaccine. The Morristown and Atlantic City vaccine megasites, they're not yet up and running. There are 3 other megasites opening in North Jersey.
A grim milestone in Philadelphia about 10 months into the pandemic. Today, the city surpassed a total of 100,000 coronavirus cases. More than 2,600 people have died. At this point, only healthcare workers are eligible to get the COVID vaccine in Philadelphia. But here's what you can do now to prepare for your turn. Go to phillyfightingcovid.com and enter information to pre-commit. That way you'll get status updates and a notice on when your face is eligible for the shot. City leaders will use the entries to determine demand for clinic locations. And on NBC10.com, we have a special interactive feature that shows you your likely place in the vaccine rollout. It's based on where you live, what you do for a living, and your health risk. Take a look for yourself by going to NBC10.com/vaccine. And while some welcome the chance to get a vaccine, there is skepticism in some communities of color. Join us tomorrow night for Race in Philly. We will explore the role of race when it comes to concerns about getting the shot. We will dive into that issue and much more tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. right here on NBC10.
Other news tonight, 2 women hurt tonight in a dog attack in southwest Philadelphia. Police say when officers got there, they were forced to shoot and kill the dog. The dog became aggressive around 8 tonight on Thomas Avenue in the city's Kingsessing neighborhood. Both women are recovering from injuries on their arms and hands. A man in his 60s lost his life today when his ultralight aircraft crashed in Gloucester County, went down in this wooded area. This is just north of Vineland Downtown Airport along Route 40 in Franklin Township. Police say they found the body of Gerard Aselta of Vineland under the aircraft, and the FAA is leading the investigation into what caused the deadly crash.
Protecting the Capitol, the president taking emergency measures in the wake of the violence in D.C. that he is accused of inciting. Plus, reviving Philadelphia tourism. I spoke to Visit Philly about their plan for 2021, what you can look forward to, and plans to boost the city's cash flow. Brittany.
And I'm First Alert meteorologist Brittany Shipp. But we are seeing all the clouds clearing out. That's going to give us a sunny Tuesday. What's in store in terms of our temperatures? I'm tracking all the details coming up in your full forecast.
New tonight, President Trump has approved an emergency declaration in Washington, providing additional funding and security ahead of Joe Biden's inauguration. This comes as more video surfaces from Wednesday's Capitol riots. We do want to warn you, you may find these images disturbing. You can hear that police officer crying out in pain as the mob pinned him against the doorway. The officer later said he is okay. Tonight, the acting chief of Capitol Police announced that several officers have been suspended over the riots. The former chief, who resigned last week, said he requested National Guard troops to stand by days before the chaos, but his bosses turned down that request. The acting Homeland Security Secretary has ordered the Secret Service to start beefing up security for the inauguration on Wednesday. That's nearly a week earlier than planned. The acting chief of Capitol Police says there will be no public access to the Capitol grounds during the inauguration. There will also be security checkpoints with metal detectors and thousands of police officers ready to respond to violence.
Mass civil disturbance is something that we plan for. We have contingencies in place and plans in place to address that kind of behavior.
The FBI is also warning police nationwide about armed protests being discussed on social media. The agency says there's a chance for attacks at every state capital by week's end, with the possibility of more violence in Washington if Congress takes action against President Trump. And speaking of acting Homeland Security Secretary Chad Wolf, he's become the latest cabinet official to step down following the Capitol riots. In a letter to staffers, Wolf wrote that his resignation is warranted by recent events, including court rulings about the validity of his authority. The White House announced last week that it was withdrawing Wolf's nomination to be permanent secretary.
New England Patriots head coach Bill Belichick says tonight he will not accept the Presidential Medal of Freedom. Belichick released a statement saying he was flattered by the offer to receive the honor from President Trump, but he says in the wake of the deadly riot at the U.S. Capitol last week, he's choosing not to accept the award. Belichick just finished his 21st season with the Patriots, where he won 6 Super Bowls. The Presidential Medal of Freedom is considered the highest award given to a civilian. President-elect Joe Biden has announced his pick for CIA director, and he has ties to the Philadelphia area. William Burns graduated from LaSalle University. If confirmed, he would be the first career diplomat to lead the CIA. NBC10 reporter Matt DeLucia spoke to one of Burns' history professors at LaSalle. He called Burns an exceptional student.
And he's just an all-around pleasant, refined, sophisticated and down-to-earth person, a perfect fit for not only the diplomatic career, but of course as director of the CIA.
Burns' former professor also said he was a great athlete.
Looking forward, after 2020 canceled events across the country, the greater Philadelphia area lost nearly $6 billion. Now the hope is that 2021 will be better. Jeff Garcino, president and CEO of Visit Philadelphia, joins us now. Jeff, thank you for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You always provide such optimism about what we can look forward to. We need that more than ever. So what is on tap this year?
Well, recovery is on tap. We have seen a global disruption to the travel industry, and that is a big deal for Greater Philadelphia because 46 million people came here before the pandemic, spending billions of dollars and patronizing our museums, our attractions, coming here just for fun, coming here for a meeting or for a convention or a big event. And that puts a lot of people to work, and that puts a lot of money into our economy.
There are still no large events in the city through Philadelphia and still so many restrictions in place. So how are you working around those?
So the first thing is that we're taking the long view. It's going to be really hard the next few months as the pandemic continues, as people get stay at home, as they begin to get access to the vaccine. But spring will come, summer will come, and we'll begin the long road to rebounding.
We can't wait for so many more of these restrictions to be lifted. But boy, when you talk about the resiliency of Philadelphia, when you walk around and you see how creative these restaurant owners have been, it is remarkable, and what they're doing to try to make money and how local residents are coming out to support them any way they can.
And it's festivals and events, and it's the Philly Pops, and it's the Philadelphia Orchestra, it's theaters, it's live events like Live Nation and concerts. Everyone has thought about their business, rethought about how they can do it. I believe ultimately we'll come out much stronger from this. And so the quickest way that we can get our friends and family back to work is by being tourists in our own hometown first, inviting our friends and family to come visit us this spring, this summer, this fall, and to be sure that we tell everyone just how great this city and this region is and all the many reasons that we're proud to live here and why someone should come and visit in the next year and beyond.
President and CEO of Visit Philadelphia, Jeff Garcino, thank you so much.
Thanks so much.
All right, good weather helps too, right? Turning now to your first alert forecast. Crisp night for Escape in South Philadelphia.
And we are still enjoying this calm pattern, but how much longer will it last? NBC10 First Alert meteorologist Brittany Ship with that answer. Brittany.
Well, it is going to last throughout most of your work week. We are tracking changes as we get closer to the weekend. But by tomorrow, we'll get rid of the clouds and we'll see lots of sunshine. So we're already starting to see clearing skies. But the number one thing to know is our dry stretch will continue. We're tracking a lot of sunshine for tomorrow. And then we'll even see a warmer into the week. We're talking temperatures heading back into the 50s, so well above average for us. Temperatures right now at 23 degrees in Allentown. We're down to 24 in Bluebell, 24 in Reading, so it's a cold night ahead. 26 in Millville. We're in the mid-30s in Dover, so it all depends on where you are. We have a few more clouds lingering down the shore and the central southern parts of Delaware, but again, you can already make out the clearing here, and this storm system only brought us a few clouds and also a few little light showers closer to the southern part of Delaware. So this is about the third system we've tracked that is staying to the south of us, ensuring that we continue with our dry stretch. So as we go into tomorrow, again, you are waking up to clear skies, and by the afternoon, we're talking temperatures in the 40s and a lot of sunshine expected. So the big picture is this system is going to continue to pull away from the coast, and that gives us a dry Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But by Saturday, now we're finally tracking our next system that's going to give us a chance of rain. And this is going to happen really early in the morning on Saturday and probably clear out by Saturday evening and Saturday night. So we'll see a dry second half of the weekend. Sunday right now looking dry. drier, but also much cooler than how we will end the work week. Your outdoor dining cast, take a look. Tomorrow, sunny and crisp. We give the green light for Wednesday and also Thursday. We'll start to see those temperatures pushing into the 50s as early as Thursday. Friday's going to be the warmest day of the week. Our average for this time of year is 40 degrees. By Friday, we will be up to 53, so about 13 degrees above average. Tomorrow morning, it'll be a cold start, waking up to temperatures in the 20s, 27 degrees, and by your lunch hour, we're close to 40 degrees. Eventually, we'll push to 44, and your 10-day forecast does show us as we go into the next couple of days, nice and dry here. We start to push into the 50s by Thursday. We stay there Friday. A little cooler heading into the weekend with a chance of showers, giving us the end of the dry streak potentially by Saturday. Jacqueline and Jim?
All right, Brittany, I like the phrase crisp. Perfect way to describe it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, now to an exciting opportunity for local nonprofits. It's called Project Innovation. It's our annual grant challenge from NBC10 and Telemundo 62. If you have a nonprofit that's creating positive change in a unique way, we want to hear from you. More than $300,000 is available to organizations in our area. To apply, just head to NBC10.com/Project Innovation and fill out an application. The deadline to apply is February 12th. Well, sometimes competing is better as a family affair.
Delaware sisters got a chance to win cash on Ellen's Game of Games, but did they succeed? Count on the answer next. Jimmy.
Hi, Jim and Jacqueline. Tonight we have an all-new show with Rashida Jones, Bill Burr, and music from Old Dominion. Plus, we say goodbye to a few things in a brand new Go On Get. It's a great show right after you guys.
Set of triplets and their two older sisters are celebrating their time in the primetime spotlight.
The women, all from Delaware, competed on Ellen's Game of Games, and tonight their episode aired.
George Clooney did the jig with his friend Amal.
After scoring some laughs and points and say what, the women advanced all the way to the final round, where they were just 7 correct answers away from the $100,000 grand prize. They came up just short by $75K, which isn't too shabby at all. This is video the family sent us tonight of them all watching the show together. The sisters taped the show in August. Since then, they have not been allowed to tell even close family members if they won. Our Tim Furlong caught up with the sisters earlier.
It was the most amazing experience to begin with, but to do it with my sisters made it even more special.
The sisters take a trip every year together, and this year they were selected to be on the show, a vacation they will never forget. Fun. Eagles head coach Doug Pederson, as we told you at the top, is leaving the nest.
And his players have something to say about it. More reaction to Pederson's departure. That's coming up next in sports.
This is Sports Desk, brought to you by Xfinity, the fastest internet in Philadelphia.
Hey, good to see you. I'm Danny Palmels from NBC Sports Philadelphia. The Eagles fired Doug Pederson this afternoon. Pederson's crowning achievement as Eagles head coach was, of course, helping the franchise to their one and only Super Bowl championship. Brandon Graham made the clinching play in Super Bowl 52, and earlier today on 94 WIP, he had this to say about Pederson's ouster.
It's tough, man. You know how much I love Coach Pederson. I understand the business side of it. I mean, you got to make some tough calls as an organization, and I'm sure we're going to find out, you know, everything as we go on. But I just know that Coach Pederson definitely is a shocker for me.
Meanwhile, the coronavirus continues to impact the Sixers. Tonight against Atlanta, the team was without Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, and Seth Curry. In fact, Doc Rivers had just 9 players available to him, but one of them was Joel Embiid, and JoJo was a man about his business after missing Saturday's game because of back stiffness. He looked good, gets the bucket here. Joel 24 in the first half, but he didn't score in the second. That's because he barely played. The Hawks were all over the shorthanded Sixers. Trae Young, deep three. Young finished with 26 as the Sixers dropped their 3rd straight game, 112-94. That is your look at sports. I'm Danny Palmels from NBC Sports Philadelphia.
The This is what dates you. If you're familiar with Blockbuster and you remember those dating days like I do, then yeah, you kind of know your age. Blockbuster Video, we know, is gone, but its legacy is not forgotten.
You may have noticed these blue boxes. They're popping up on city streets in recent weeks, like this one on Passyunk Avenue in South Philly. They're called free Blockbusters. The idea here is take a movie, leave a movie on the honor system, of course. A former Blockbuster employee from Delaware County started this trend. Now 4 of them here in Philadelphia. And of course, you need a DVD player to play them on.
Yes.
Old school. Thanks for joining us.
Good night.